Welcome to Writing Enchanting Prose. This is a workshop that teaches you some of the basics of writing, probably in a way that you've never encountered. And by that, what I mean is this. Years ago, I recognized that there were certain stories that picked me up and carried me away, that transported me to another place and just left me wanting to live in the world that I was reading about. And over the years, I've looked at stories that work. And of course, I'm one of the lead judges for one of the world's largest writing contests. And so I have read tens and thousands of stories. And what I've found is that there are certain things that you can do that will make a story so that people want to read it. And there are certain things that you can do that will completely engage an audience so that they forget who they are, where they are, what time it is, what they are supposed to be doing, and they become completely immersed in your writing. And so I've taken a number of things and I put them together in this course. And I'm going to pretty much guarantee you've probably never heard of some of these techniques. And you're also going to find that they're extremely valuable. That most of the time when somebody takes this course, I've found that they have improved their writing to go from a level where they're unpublishable to the point where they're award-worthy authors, where they are contending for prizes. And so that's basically my goal, is to try to take you there. Now, a lot of writing courses are like the ones that I had in college. I took a writing course in college, and I recall vividly that we talked about stories for a day and what was going to be required and what stories we needed to read, and here's your textbook. And then the next time that we came, they said, okay, now we're going to have you go write a story, and we're going to look at this story and we'll give you a grade on it. Well, that scared me to death, okay? And the reason it scared me to death is because I felt like I didn't have any preparation. I felt like I was just being thrown into it. And to a certain degree, you are. And you're going to feel thrown into it a little bit here. But what I think really bothered me the most is that we didn't practice any correct writing skills. We were just asked to write, and then afterwards, the professor would talk in class. We would go over the stories in class and would find things to praise about your writing and things that maybe were weaknesses or that could be fixed. And the result was that I felt like we didn't learn proper principles. We were just learning to take away from what we had, so we avoided making mistakes. And I think that that's the biggest problem with most writing courses today that I've been to, is that we don't practice cool new techniques. So that's what I'm going to try to give you in this workshop. The workshop is going to last for 10 weeks. And as you take this workshop, there's a couple of things that we do. And each week I'll talk about a principle. We'll go ahead and have you practice the principle. And you'll get information on how to practice it correctly. You'll get both a video description of how to do the exercise, but you'll also get a written description of what it is that you need to do for this exercise. And then you'll send that exercise to me, and I will go ahead and critique the exercise for each person in the class. I do not have you critique each other's work. In part, I found that a lot of people are reticent to do that. They don't feel qualified. It actually seems to put more pressure on them than the writing does. So I critique each of the exercises and then I get them back to you. So I'll typically give you a lesson on a Saturday morning, and then by Wednesday I'd like you to turn that exercise in. Watching the video and doing the exercise will take you about 2 to 3 hours. Maybe a little bit longer. It needs to take that much time because in order to learn anything, you have to give it a bit of time to move it from your temporary memory, okay, into your permanent memory. It's the same principle as computers. We put information into RAM. And so long as the computer is on, it's there. But when the computer gets bumped and loses its power, the information is lost. But if you move it onto a hard drive, then it's remembered. Well, we have in our brains cells that store things in short-term memory, and then we have cells that go into long memory. And you have to be able to focus on something for at least about 35 minutes to get it to go from short-term memory into long-term memory. So we can't have little tiny short lessons that are only going to take you 15 minutes. Okay, we have to learn the principle and then practice the principle. Also, it's really important for you to practice. Okay, most of what we learn from writing, as we learn correct writing skills, comes from us sitting down and thinking about it and practicing it as we type. And so I put a big emphasis on writing. I think most of the authors that I know feel like when they write their first novel that they double or triple what they knew about writing just in writing one novel. And I think that's a pretty common experience. That's why you may have heard that it takes 1 million words for a writer to get enough experience under his or her belt so that they're writing at a publishable level. And while that isn't true at all, I can teach you how to do it in a lot less than 1 million words. The truth is that it does take time, and you will get better with practice. So we're going to go ahead and get started right now and have fun. Happy writing.